One of the first songs on the record is called the Termination Proclamation, and there's a pretty cool riff on there that's, I believe, based on the diminished scale. And the riff goes like this. I'll play it slowly and play it up to normal speed. Then it would do the harmony of that, just simply moving that whole thing up, 3, 4 frets, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Simple minor third harmony.
Yep.
No, a lot of it isn't really, it's not all picked. There's a little bit of picking and a little bit of legato stuff in there. I really don't know exactly where those are. It's more of a feel thing. But just to pick it up to speed, the way that it sounds on the record would be like this. The title track, Obsidian Conspiracy, has a bunch of cool riffs in it. Basically, it's just the opening riff to that song would be something like this. So that's just basically working off the one string with using hammer-ons and just... So it's really just following the natural scale there.
Right. Kind of thing, right?
Right. You just really kind of want to get a snap going, kind of a thing, like that.
Dude, that's a killer riff.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, when you're at home creating, right? What's going through your mind when you're building a riff like this? And because I know the process is you're sitting around and you're jamming on something. When you start to find something you like, then how do you elaborate on it?
Well, lots of times it's kind of like the opposite of how you would think it would be. Like sometimes I'll come up with a drum riff first, I'm kind of an old school guy, so I have like an old Boss.
DR5?
DR5,
yeah, I got 2 of them.
Do you really?
Yeah.
A couple of buttons on one of them doesn't work right? Yeah,
exactly.
But normally I'll just start off like that with doing like a really just a fine sketch of a song idea with coming up with drum lines first.
Right.
So I can kind of feel what I'm hearing like with the drums, and then I'll play that back and I'll kind of riff out to that drum idea.
Right.
And that's kind of how I will build song structures and things like that. Usually like coming up with 10 or 15 riffs, a day of just a vibe,
Yeah, that was a really cool riff. It's very involved. You're doing string skipping and
sure,
it looks like you're building off kind of a Phrygian thing and Phrygian dominant. And
yeah, then I knew after that I wanted to have like the same kind of vibe but in a lower register. So I kind of took this vibe. And then tune up. And into the verse, which would just be... just a good, flowing thing. I knew I wanted the verse to be really just like, cutting edge, straight.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a good, just a pounding riff, for a verse.
When is the next Jeff Loomis solo album coming out? And will you have any more special guests helping you out on the next album, like Steve Vai, Paul Gilbert, Marty Friedman, or Attila?
Oh, man. Wow. Yes, well, I'm working on a new solo record right now. It's hard to really do a lot of writing while you're on the road, so I tend to do most of that at my own home. But yeah, I should hopefully have it done within the next like 3 months, and it'll probably be released sometime in the spring. As far as guests, talking to Chris Poland right now, who is an amazing guitar player. He used to play in Megadeth back in the day, and maybe another somebody that So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Next question is, how much of a hand did Peter Witchers play in the songwriting on the Obsidian Conspiracy?
Right. Well, I don't think he really had too much to do with the songwriting, more than he would take our songs and structure them a little better, because I would give him like 7-8 minute pieces of music, and he would take those ideas and say, hey, we really don't need that, we really don't need this, we can shorten this chorus up a bit. So he was really involved with making the songs just catchier, you know what I'm saying?
Just really
like cutting the fat out, so to speak, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. What inspired you to play 7-string guitar?
Well, God, that's a good question. I think probably the Meshuggah guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
After I heard like Destroy, Erase, Improve, I was just like, wow, that is a brilliant, just beefy low-end sound. Yeah. And I had a friend of mine build me a 7-string, so that's kind of how I started just experimenting with them at least.
Sure.
And then I just started looking for a nice 7-string online somewhere, and I noticed that Schecter was making them, so I ordered one of their guitars, and that's kind of how my involvement with them became official. I just noticed I was using them.
So aside from the one that your friend built you've been playing Schecter the whole time.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been with them for this long now.
Could we ever see a collaboration between Rusty and Loomis?
Oh man, that would be awesome. You know, Rusty and I have been friends now for a long time, and that would be totally awesome to actually work together sometime on something. And I think we've talked about that for many years now. So it's, in this day and age, it's very easy to actually work with another musician, when two people live far away, because of the amazing technology that we have now as far as recording tools. So yeah, I'm hoping to work with you sometime.
It'd be really
in the future.
cool. We've talked about it many times through the years, so one of these days it'll finally happen.
Yeah, it will.
It'd be killer.
And I think it'll be sooner than later, to be honest with you. So.
Awesome.
Want some more? We don't blame you. Go to GuitarAsylumTV.com for behind-the-scenes photos, uncensored video clips, and parts of the interview that were left on the cutting room floor. Get committed at GuitarAsylumTV.com, the craziest place on earth, the musically insane.
Guitar Asylum TV!